What is going on, YouTube Nation? Welcome to episode uno here of Sound Check with Chase. It is my privilege. I cannot wait to get this rolling for everybody, pretty much bringing the local country music scene to all y'all out there in the YouTube world. Our first guest, I tell you what, I am so honored to have him as the first guest here with Sound Check with Chase. It is Matt with the Jess Zimmerman Band. He is not only the front house audio engineer for the Jess Zimmerman Band, he does the JB Sound and Entertainment. He's the VP audio lighting engineer DJ there, and just an all-around good dude. Matt, welcome aboard, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. And nothing like a sound check with a sound guy.
Yeah, I mean,
for the first episode,
right?
It's a good sound check.
That's how it should be started. I'm glad you are our first guest, man. I'm glad you're wearing that hat because the first question I have for you, we got to get to the important questions first and get those out of the way. You have a nickname, Matt in the Hat. I just need to know where that came from, where it came to be. I think I got a feeling of how it came to be, but I just need to hear that story.
Jess.
Yeah, from Jess,
pretty much. She one night started calling me Matt in the Hat. I think it was at a Hollywood casino show, and yeah, it stuck. Because I'd always wear cowboy hats. You know, I wear ball caps, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, the cowboy hat was always my look. And next thing you know, here I am, Matt in the Hat. It was Dancing Sound Guy at one point. Because I would line dance and do sound at the same time. But
so what would you consider to be your favorite hat that you own?
Oh, probably this one I have on now. It's my latest one from Ariat. I got at our one rodeo gig that we played. So yeah, I like this one. But I don't know. I probably should say, maybe a Jess Zimmerman hat. You know,
that's a good start. I got one of those back there too. Look, I got one of those back there.
Try to keep my job.
Good plug, man. That's a good plug. You're known for your hats. So, and you also wear a lot of hats too outside of the Jess Zimmerman Band. Let's talk a little bit about that. Talk about all that you do with the exception of the Jess Zimmerman Band. Let's dive into that right away and get that out of the way. So I'm a advanced EMT. I'm in my 13th year in emergency medical services. That's awesome. I work for WellSpan, Western Berks EMS, and then I volunteer at Newmanstown and Myerstown First Aid Unit. Awesome. Thank you so much for all that you do, Matt, not only with the Jess Zimmerman Band, but outside of that place, man. That is absolutely incredible for you to keep up a schedule like you do.
I appreciate it. And the other thing too is I help out here at the home farm. I'm 5th generation dairy farmer. We don't have cows now anymore. We had chickens and poultry chickens and dairy growing up, and so that kind of ties into how I kind of met Jess and started all that too. So
right. Let's dive deeper into that a little bit of exactly how you got your start with the Jess Zimmerman Band. I mean, you've been with them for quite a long time now. Just talk about the start of it to where you're at now with that band.
Yeah, sure. I've been with them since I want to say 2018. I remember helping out at the album release party at E-Town Fair for Red, the album Red, and I think that's been since then. I want to say sometime in the beginning of 2018 I started mixing for them at the Union House in Richland. I went in to see them play, and because I was following them for a little while, and I'm standing there, I'm seeing Joe B, our guitar player, do sound, front of house sound,
killer guitar player as well.
Yes, he is a killer guitar. Oh yeah, absolutely. Play guitar, do lights, sing a song, and all this, and I'm like, do you need help? Like I know a little bit from high school DJing, stuff like that, and he's like, here's the iPad, and we haven't looked back since.
Nice. And talk
So
about too. That's something that I'd love to pinpoint a little bit from where you started at. I mean, obviously technology just keeps on changing, man. But in your job alone, it's got to be something to see how the digital world has just come to be at a show or a concert, whether it be an inside venue, outside venue as well. Talk a little bit about that too, man.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're not running copper anymore. We're not running, out,
Right.
big snake out to front of house. I can mix a whole show off an iPad or my phone if I really wanted to.
That's amazing.
And there's different. I don't dive into the whole waves or different plugins and all that. Everything that I do is in the box, in our board. I don't do anything external.
And we got to admit too, man, you have pretty much the. Now, don't get me wrong. Jess has an important job up there singing, doing her thing. The band's got their job. You pretty much have the most important job in that band, man. You got to make sure everything's working before they go on that stage. Talk a little bit about that, of setting up the show, the ins and outs, getting everything right, making sure everything's set up correctly, and just all the ins and outs of setting up that show.
So it starts way before we even get to the venue. I pull the trailer, I want to say 95% of the time now, and I carry all the gear. But what I do before we even the show, like this week, we're at Hollywood Casino. Okay, so like for this coming Friday, we have a benefit concert that we're doing down in Lidditz. And so I'm contacting, the people. I may contact the people who booked the show to nail down power. I line up when the band's going to be there. When we're going to load in, the band's going to load in down to our show time. Right. I put that all together. I send it out saying, "This is what time audio needs to be there. This time band needs to be there. This is the address. We'll see you there," kind of thing. I kind of keep things smooth on the back end.
Right.
So then when we get there, it's making contact with the venue coordinator or whoever booked the band, and then it's just start loading in. Get the PA set up, get the drums set up, get the drums mic'd, get all the batteries on, do a sound check. Sometimes we don't even do a sound check. We just line check and we go.
Right.
So, so it's more or less keeping that stuff, keeping everything well oiled behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm guessing too. It all determines on where the venue is at. Big venue, small venue. Does it really matter as far as the setup is concerned when you go into a venue?
Yeah, so it all depends on what the venue has. So there's times where we're doing full production, where we're doing lights and sound, and then there's shows like Mickey's Black Box, where they have a sound system. They have lighting. Yes, very great venue. My all-time favorite venue. Absolutely. Next
questions already. I can't answer that now.
Yeah. Well, next to Old Red in Orlando. It was one of my other favorite venues. But so we're going to venues like Mickey's. I just take we roll our audio rack in. I give them a left right sub, and we do the show. So we have different venues like that, different setups. Sometimes we don't do lights because it's daytime. Kind of got to coordinate with that with our lighting director, Stefan, which is Jess's husband.
Right. And talk about, too, since you come on board with the Jess Zimmerman Band, too, just talk about there's got to be some things when you get to a show that just some of those funny things that have happened at a show with either setting up or either with the band while they're playing. There's got to be some technical issues every now and then at a show. Talk about some of those funny things that maybe you recall at a show or what has happened to you, and you kind of had to scramble a little bit to get it back on track.
Well, Lebanon Fair.
Just recently,
just recently. I didn't have. I had our backing tracks and our click swapped in our channels, and the click came out in the PA when we first started. I'm like, oops. So luckily we caught it, we switched it, and the show goes on.
Yeah, talk about when that happens at a show of what your mindset is. I mean, obviously it's just getting it back on track and getting the show rolling back to normal, but there's got to be that sense of panic. Oh my goodness, now what do I do, right?
Pretty much for like a hot second, then I know what to do. I kind of figure it out.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
And talk about the band, the lifestyle that you live. I mean, it's got to be a pretty cool thing. Jess Zimmerman, the band, has been down in Nashville. You guys have been all over the place, like you mentioned, down in Orlando. You guys have been up and down the Eastern Seaboard and beyond. You guys go down to the Josie Awards that's coming up here in Nashville here shortly. Just talk about that lifestyle, trying to mix that in and the local aspect of it with the Jess Zimmerman Band.
well, I gotta say, being on the road is I wouldn't have thought this is where I would be. I'd be on the road with a band, uh, being able to do what I love, which is music. And the lifestyle is, there's a lot of back and forth. When we go down to Florida, we fly. I have a whole nother rig down there, so we don't have to drive to Florida, the once or twice a month that we're down.
Right.
And so it's a lot of flying, this and that. But then when we traveled down to South Carolina, when we played down in Myrtle, we drove, and you really got to like who you're with.
Right. So it's a long time being with people.
Spending long hours in the van, or on the way down or on the way back, or. So I try not to fall asleep because then I annoy everybody with my snoring.
You need know how many times. Like myself, man. You need to get one of those.
Yeah.
That'll cure everything.
Oh, they keep telling me. That's why they call me Pappy sometimes. They call me Pappy sometimes because they think I need a CPAP.
Nice. Nice. That's a cool story, man. But also tell me, too, like when you guys go to like South Carolina, Florida, Nashville, the crowds have got to be different than what you're seeing here in central Pennsylvania. Just talk about the atmosphere down there of the local music scene, versus here in central PA.
So I want to say down there, when we go to places down there, not a lot of people know us. So We're just like one of those, we're the band playing that day. But funny thing is like when we play Old Red Orlando, we have people from overseas come see us. They book their vacation around our tour schedule down in Florida to come see us, which is pretty cool. Then we have our regulars that we've been down there 2 to 3 years now, I think, and we built up a small little following down there. But when you go down there, it's like no one knows you. So It's like them being able to play your originals and then people coming up and saying, oh, that was an original. We like your music, and stuff like that.
Right. And I talk about, too, on my show all the time, man. Like the local country scene here in central Pennsylvania is like no other. I mean, it is just an absolute hotbed. You see all the local country artists firsthand out there. Jess Zimmerman has either played with some of them that are out there in central Pennsylvania. Just talk about the music alone here in central Pennsylvania. I mean, we've got Warren Ziders from down the road, one of the biggest country artists that's out there right now. He was right from our backyard. Talk about who very well could be the next Warren Ziders here of our area, since it's such a hotbed of country music.
Well, I'm going to say what Minnie Hopper said the other day and say Jess Zimmerman Band, but I did like that.
It was a good choice.
I thought that was a good choice, but I mean, you never know. The thing is like you never know who's going to show up to that show at any of our shows in Pennsylvania and be that person that's going to, take that person to the next step.
Right.
That's why I feel like everyone in central Pennsylvania does an amazing job of being able to be who they are and put on a good show, no matter who's out there in the crowd, whether it's 5 people or 100,000. I think our Central Pennsylvania music scene is amazing.
Yeah, and the support that you guys get here in Central Pennsylvania is absolutely incredible too. I mean, every local group is supportive of the next band up. You know, like you see it when you go out to your shows. Everybody's supporting each other. Everybody wants to be involved. Everybody wants them to take the next step, and that is ultimately, of course, down in Nashville.
Yes, yeah. I want to say, when we can go out to see everybody, because typically we're playing when they're playing, so it's hard for us to go out and see people. But it comes down to, shows like your show here on Soundcheck with Chase, to, the radio stations, to Central Pennsylvania Music, Hall of Fame, anyone, supporting the acts is going to be a big step into getting these artists up to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talk about your experience with the Jess Zimmerman Band. Every single year, they're nominated for numerous awards, not just the Josie Awards, also the CPMA Awards as well. Each year, what is it, 6 or 7 this year down at the Josie Awards in Nashville?
Yeah,
It's pretty incredible stuff.
It is, and Joe B, our guitarist, actually has a nomination for Guitarist of the Year, I believe, and which is amazing because I was watching some videos back from previous shows, and I'm just looking at his fingers moving. I'm like, I can't even do that.
Right.
The guitar players are amazing. So yeah, highly deserved of that award nomination.
Yeah, listen, man, a guy with like no musical ability whatsoever, myself, I can tell you, anybody that can go on that stage and do any part of the singing, any part of the playing, any part of the dancing, because this butt ain't shaking, man. When I get on that stage, I can tell you that much. I can tell you, I am not musically inclined in any sort of way. I can tell you that.
But it is an honor to be a part of the band, and the band views myself as one of the musicians in the band. They're like, you're the most important person in the room. You make us sound good, which led to when they won Group of the Year for Country Rock, Southern Rock. I was able to get one of the awards as well, duplicate. So, wow. It's amazing. It's amazing that they look at the sound guy to be able to, I'm just not the sound guy. I'm a part of the band.
Absolutely. Yeah, one thing, too, with the Jess Zimmerman Band, I've done a couple of their shows over there at Rocklet It's Now and was the MC for them. You guys are just a special family. I mean, it isn't just, Jess's side of the family. You guys are all one. You guys all do pretty much everything together. I see over on Facebook, you guys are always getting together doing different things. You're very much a faith family kind of guy. I've talked to your mama numerous times about what you have done so far, and it's awesome when I talk to your mom because she just melts when she talks about you and what you've done in your career with the Jess Zimmerman Band. But it is just one big happy family there at the Jess Zimmerman Band.
Well, thanks, Mom. Thanks for putting a good word out for me there. But yes, the faith-based is a big part of what the Jay-Z Band means to all of us. Is and it goes with our latest the latest album, Be the Light. That we pray before every show and after the show, and I just started doing a devotion with the band after the show. If we have multiple shows, I try to pick one night that this is when we're going to do it. But right. One of our biggest prayers that we thank him for the talents that he's blessed us with, and that someone would be able to see him through us, that we can go be that light and be the light towards him and guide people to him through what we do. And it doesn't, we can play cover songs, somehow they see him through us.
Right. very important aspect of the whole Jess Zimmerman Band. You can see it every time you guys take the stage, and in everything that you guys do with the Jess Zimmerman Band. It is absolutely amazing to watch you guys on stage, to say the least. Let's talk about you in general and personally when you're outside of the Jess Zimmerman Band. What does Matt in the Hat do in his spare time when Matt in the Hat actually has spare time, which is not very often?
Sleep.
Nice.
Sleep.
That's a good choice.
That's usually what it is. It's usually sleep or hanging out with my girlfriend Natalie. We're trying to do stuff together, and she comes along to shows as well. So I get to see her when we're at shows and stuff like that. And but yeah, I more or less that volunteer my time with the fire company, or I try to focus more on the band stuff now, as that's like one of my jobs. So I'm trying to, whether it's helping out with social media, whether it's listening to podcasts, listening to different ideas from other engineers, and just trying to better my craft.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And
I'm
then,
not sure you can get it any better than what you're doing right now, man.
there's always room for improvement. Joe said, a year or so ago, he said, "Oh man, our sound's sounding pretty good," and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not content. I'm not happy. I said, there's always room for improvement for whatever, that's one thing that I always want to do, is I constantly want to improve what we're doing.
Absolutely. You always got to step forward, man. That's half the battle. That is half the battle. If you're just joining us, it is episode number 1 here of Sound Check with Chase. We're joined by Matt in the Hat, of course, the front house audio engineer for the Jess Zimmerman Band, also the VP audio lighting engineer, DJ of JB Sound and Entertainment, among other things, as we've already discussed with Matt as well. Trying to dive into Matt a little bit more. If you could go into your playlist right now, who is your favorite artist and who is on your playlist right now?
Oh, well, let me bring up Spotify here. Let me see.
Right there.
Oh, I have it right here. Right here. So not a lot of Jess Zimmerman Band, because I use my Spotify for house music, but I want to say Brandon Lake and Elevation Worship. Brandon Lake and Elevation Worship right now.
That's your number one right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
talk about the biggest country artist that Matt in the Hat has ever met.
Oh, I don't know.
You guys have toured with all kinds of folks. You've been with all kinds of folks. You opened up for all kinds of big name artists. Is there one in particular that you've met and said, wow, this is just like a surreal experience?
I gotta say, not necessarily the artist directly, but the front of house engineer for Marshall Tucker. When we opened up for them up in Poconos for the Lost Highway, it was us, Marshall Tucker, and Leonard Skinner, and I got to speak a little bit with Keith Glenn, who is Marshall Tucker's front of house guy for 20-some plus years. So I got to talk to him a little bit, which was awesome. And then when we got done with our set and he was coming out, he's like, "Hey, man, your mix sounded great. Keep up the good work." And I'm like,
"That's awesome.
This is awesome."
Yeah, that is awesome.
So, yeah, that was probably, I would say he was probably, not an artist, but, someone, like me on the, behind the scenes guys.
Does Matt in the Hat listen to anything but country music?
Yeah. I got my pop side once in a while.
little Britney Spears and NSYNC, Backstreet Boys in there? Or?
Oh yeah, we could throw that in there. I listen to some classic rock.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's a mix. I'm from being a DJ and all that, I listen to a lot of stuff, and but I could not listen to the Wobble. If I had to choose a song not to listen to again, it would be the Wobble.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, what genre of music would you say Matt in the Hat just doesn't go there? He doesn't touch. It's just not his favorite.
I'd have to say rap. Just because I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's definitely an art there, and my hat off to all the artists who dive into rap, and there's a meaning behind that, and it's just not my forte.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing before we wrap things up, I do want to show you this picture that I did take. Now, this is from you might get a kick out of this because I'm setting you up a little bit. This is from the luau that you guys just had with the Jess Zimmerman Band. Talk about that outfit a little bit. I mean, you got a little bit of everything going on. You got the Hawaiian shirt with the suspenders. You got the cowboy hat. All things that should be going together there in that picture there, Matt. Just talk about that get up there, man.
So it was one of those things that we were we need to have fun with, let loose kind of thing, and so I'm thinking about we created the luau theme, and I'm thinking what can I do just to be silly and fun? And I'm like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna get a bright pink Hawaiian shirt with flamingos on. I'm gonna wear jean bibs and my boots and a hat.
See, now I don't see the boots on there. I don't see the boots. But what color were the boots did you have on?
They were my brown boots.
Okay, all right.
So I sent this idea over to Jess because I'm like, usually what I should send stuff to Natalie, but I do send stuff to Jess a lot and be like, okay, what do you think? And she's like, I love it. I'm like, cool. I was like, this is what I'm wearing. And then I started dabbling in the thought of, do I make these bibs shorts?
Yeah, there you go.
There
you go.
I'm like, that would be a fun look, but no one wants to see these white legs. these legs haven't seen the sunlight in I don't know how many years.
Hey, man, cowboys don't wear shorts, man. They wear jeans, right?
Right.
They don't wear shorts.
It was more or less to be silly that night and just let loose and have a fun night out.
Hey, man, I love the look. I gotta say, I hope to see that look at one of these Jess Zimmerman Band shows when you're doing the sound, man. I want to see that look. I do.
So you're not the only one that said that, because Stefan said you need to wear this more often. I'm like,
yeah.
This is a once and a done thing. I was like, that shirt came off of Amazon. It was like $15. I said, but it was worth it.
They're the best shirts, man. They are the best shirts.
Right?
And
they're and they were thin. I'm like, I didn't sweat at all that night.
Nice. All right, Matt, we are going to wrap things up with a little game that we're going to wrap up. Try and do with every interview here on Soundcheck with Chase. Let's wrap this thing up with this or that. You just pick one or the other, okay? You ready?
All right,
man. Here we go. An easy one. Pizza or wings?
Jeez. Because they go together. They go together. Maybe that's the thing. I would say pizza.
George Strait or Toby Keith?
R.I.P. George Strait.
Inside venue or outside venue?
Well, now.
You got to pick one.
I was excited for outside shows this year, as always.
Right.
Because I can let the PA, they have a nice PA, I can put more PA up and this and that. But then I forgot about how hot it gets. So
maybe outside in the fall, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I would say inside.
Nice.
Inside shows at Mickey's Black Box.
Two amazing female artists in country music that are still going strong. Lainey Wilson or Dolly Parton?
Lainey Wilson.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you went the other direction with Dolly Parton.
I do. I love Dolly, but I really like Lainey's vocal.
Yeah, she is.
So she is a really
right now.
That is for sure.
Yeah. All right, one last one there, Matt in the hat. New or old country?
I would say old.
Old country. Old country.
90s. 90s country.
This has been awesome, Matt. I got to tell you, man, I'm glad you were a part of our first episode of Soundcheck with Chase here on the YouTube. Of course, Matt in the Hat, he is the front house audio engineer for the Jess Zimmerman Band, also the VP audio lighting engineer, DJ, JB Sound and Entertainment. Please give them a like, Facebook, wherever they are at. They also have a website as well. Talk about the numerous places you guys are at. Get that all out of there here before we exit to the left here.
Oh, coming up this Friday, we are in Lidditz for the summer benefit concert for Friendship Community starting at 7 o'clock. Fuzzy Few Festival on Saturday up in Hummelstown. I think that's a part of the fire company. And then Middletown Concert Series on Sunday. And then next Thursday, E-Town Fair.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one over at the E-Town Fair. That's going to be big.
E-Town Fair, get the milkshakes, get the fries, the funnel cakes, and the root beer right at the stage, which is always amazing.
I forgot about the root beer over there.
Oh, the homemade root beer, I think.
Yeah,
I gotta find my jug.
How about we split one when I get over there? I'll split one with you.
Sounds good to me.
Matt in the Hat, it's always a pleasure, man. If you haven't seen the Jess Zimmerman Band yet live at a show, you have got to check them out. They are one of the hottest groups here in Central PA, put on a wonderful show. Trust me, they will be big time here in no time, and I cannot wait to see when they make that adjustment from not only the local country scene to some bigger things happening for the Jess Zimmerman Band.
Chase, thank you for having me.